tout le monde. Aujourd'hui, nous avons l'un de mes amis qui est enseignant de français et on va discuter un peu nos expériences, quoi, ce qui nous a fallu faire jusqu'à ce point à propos de l'enseignement de FLE, français langue étrangère. Et monsieur, qui êtes-vous? Quel est votre nom?
Bonjour, je m'appelle Kyle Patterson. J'enseigne ici à l'Université de Davis en Californie. Bonjour.
Oui, bonjour. Et en plus, vous faites quelque chose d'autre? Oui, vous faites du travail spécialisé pour le département?
Je prépare les syllabus et les sites pour les étudiants pour qu'ils puissent faire leurs devoirs, etc. Oui.
Oui, oui, oui. Et on est très reconnaissant pour pour votre travail. Merci
Merci.
bien. Merci bien pour ça. Pour faire ça. Et, OK. Ça suffit pour le français pour l'instant. OK. On
D'accord.
change en anglais? OK. From this point, we'll speak a little bit of English for those of you watching. Kyle, yeah, I was just saying, thank you for the work that you do. As you know, I'm a lecturer in the department, and you're a very advanced graduate student and also a GSR for the department. And so we work together a lot on curriculum and stuff like that. But Kyle is kind of the glue right now. So, so thanks.
That's nice. Thank you.
You know, you and I and everybody in the department were kind of thrown into this online teaching by necessity. You know, nobody especially wanted to do it, especially language teachers, because we like to talk to people so much. But we've been through a week of it, and how have your experiences been so far with moving to 100% online learning?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think luckily with my dissertation kind of focusing on utilizing technology, well, games in particular, but I've read a lot about technology and the language classroom. It prepared me in that sense to design materials, lesson plans that are kind of targeted towards different skills based on what technology has to offer. So that was kind of a comfortable space, but at the same time, you know, being given only 1, maybe 2 weeks before, you know, all of this went down, given that such little notice, it was challenging, you know, creating the tests as we talked about, you know, in our TA meeting today.
Mm-hmm.
Creating tests is difficult. How do we manage, you know, students that are possibly cheating? Will they cheat? Can they cheat? How much time should we put on the tests? There are so many things that, you know, you don't think about
Mm-hmm.
that all of a sudden now you have to start thinking about really quickly.
True enough. I saw some article on Facebook. I can't even remember the article that was talking about how someone in some language program somewhere at some point took their class to 100% online, and they were given the paltry amount of time of 6 to 9 months. And people were, some other professors that I'm friends with on Facebook, they were saying, hey, we were given 6 to 9 days, and we were able to pull together what we pulled together. You know, I think that everybody, not to pat ourselves on the back, it's just we scrambled, and now it's happening. Have there been, you know, I've got my own experiences, my own successes and challenges. But what about you? Have you, what are some challenges that you've seen so far in your role?
Yeah, so I think connecting with students the same way as you would face-to-face has been difficult. You know, I like to joke around with my students in French at the beginning of class or even throughout class, making jokes. Being very accessible to students is important to me. As we move online, where we've been lucky enough to be given free, you know, Zoom licenses, and there's so much that we can do with that. We can put them in breakout rooms and have them work together. But the issue is that in Zoom, you can only be in one place at a time, and you can only hear one thing at a time. It's not like in the classroom where you're talking to a group of students and you say, "Ben non, attention," and you hear something out of the corner, behind you, and you can turn around and say, "Non, être pour le sujet je, c'est je suis," and then you can continue talking. But it's hard to be, uh, more accessible to the students when they need it.
True. So it's a little bit harder to identify. Yeah, that's my perception too. It's so silent. It's so silent
Yeah.
when I'm having class. I have to, if I ask everybody just to turn their audio on to unmute themselves, it just doesn't work. It just becomes this cacophony. You know how it goes with the feedback and everything.
Right.
It's really, yeah, I really feel that challenge too. As far as assessment goes, we haven't had. It's only a week and a day into our quarter. We haven't had a chapter test or anything like that yet. Are there? Is there anything that you're anticipating being different or challenging about assessment this quarter?
Well, I think our focus should be, I don't want to say on different things, because we obviously want to make sure that that they're using vocab correctly, that the grammar is correct. But I think since it's moved off of paper and out of spontaneity to kind of this online environment, I think that it's just, and there's autocorrect and things like that. And I don't know, that's something that we haven't really had time to think about until, recently. And we're like, oh, wait, we have a chapter exam coming up. But I just think that even though the material is the same, we need to be thinking about what we should prioritize given this new setting. And I'm not sure. I mean, I don't have all that mapped out, but technology is great for many things, but it does prioritize certain things over other things, over things that we do in the classroom face to face.
Right. We heard some of our colleagues say today that they have had a number of students come to their online office hours. I mean, it's only been a week, but I personally have had roughly this many. Have you had anybody come to yours?
I had one student come to mine on the first day. I forget what it was about actually, but I think it was just something involving the homework, where to find one of the homework activities. But yeah, just one so far.
Okay, maybe that'll increase as the complexity of the material increases.
Right, we can only hope.
I'm anticipating e and ong.
Yeah.
In our text, dear viewer, in the current text that we're using, there are 2 pages on the pronouns e and ong, and I'm kind of worried about that.
Did you see how it was like, with the futur proche, you use it like this. In the passé composé, you use it like this, and they just kind of throw it at you. I'm like, right. Okay, there's definitely going to be people coming to office hours this week for sure.
Right, and then there are the false beginners. Somebody asked me today, are we going to be addressing like lui and der on these? I said, no, we're just talking about inanimate objects and places at this time, but that'll come later.
Right.
Well, Monsieur Patterson, I want to thank you so much for your time. Je vous remercie de votre temps, and yeah, let's continue to Kyle and I and all of the other instructors will continue to power through this quarter.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, sir.